Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's short video tutorial on another opening trap in Xiangqi. Again, this will be a pawn versus pawn opening system, and this is based on the free ebook that is available on the World Xiangqi Federation website. The URL is given in the notes below, and without further ado, let us begin. Pawn versus pawn. Now this is a subtler approach by Black, whereby he would adopt a wait and see attitude to see what Red had prepared and try to counter as accurately as possible. And Red continued by developing his left horse, which is a natural move to make since the pawn was pushed. Other commonly played opening moves would be c2 equals to 3 for the thundering cannon, or c8 equals to c6 for the pearl corner cannon. Black can also counter with the central cannon if need be. So black would do the same, and red will play very proactively by developing his left chariot as a ranked chariot. Now this ranked chariot can do many things other than the usual r9 equals to 4. Red also can consider r9 equals to 3 to attack the horse, and this would be a prophylactic measure by black. Red will also play e3 plus 5 to move the elephant to the central file. Now this is sometimes played before the ranked chariot crosses the palace, because if Red were to move the chariot to r9 equals to 4, he will not be able to play this move because the chariot will be blocking the elephant. And if Red had to consolidate his material, he would have to play e7 plus 5, resulting in a very congested right flank and a relatively unprotected left flank. So Black decided to play h2 plus 4, probably to develop his chariot as a elephant chariot so that he could start attacking this file. And Red decided to do the same thing. Now the elephant chariot. And at this point in time, both colors have been very careful. They have not pushed any or advanced any piece across the river to to attack. They have also chosen their formation, and basically it will be the elephant eye horse. Now this move is the topic of discussion for this board because Red would choose to attack this file, this horse, so early in the game, even though it was protected by the black cannon. There are many hidden traps and very deadly tactical combinations in this seemingly benign position. So in the book, there were 3 variations that were discussed. The first would be r9 equals to 8, whereby Black would try to develop his chariot before Red can develop his chariot as a file chariot, and Black could try to go for a blockade. The second would be h7 plus 8, again to prevent or discourage the development of Red's right chariot. And finally, in the third variation, p3 plus 1 was discussed. Okay, variation A, sorry, r9 equals to 8. However, although the logic behind this move is sound, it will result in a very poorly coordinated black formation, as we shall see. If this were played, Red would immediately play r9 equals to 6 to attack the elephant eye horse. And it is best for Black to play r3 plus 1 to protect the black horse. Developing the horse as a cross-palace horse would not be a good idea because there would not be any good intersections for this horse to be moved later on. If Black did so, Red would simply play h7 plus 6 and prepare to capture the central pawn, because as mentioned earlier, this horse would not have any good positions to continue after moving here. If Black tried to play h6 plus 5, Red will simply charge the pawn forward and the horse would have to be retreated here, and this would be an even worse position. So r3 plus 1 to protect the horse would be the suggested move for black. Now red will develop his chariot as a foul chariot, and black will go ahead trying to form a cannon blockade, threatening to capture the central pawn if the opportunity arose. Sorry. Red would not allow this to happen and would actually charge the pawn forward. And this would, at this point in time, because red was prepared to capture the piece. So the best move would be h7 plus 9. p7 plus 1 to accept the trade would not be a good idea because black would now gain material by jamming the chariot at this position. The black cannon cannot protect the horse anymore, and the red chariot will be prepared to capture the black cannon. So that is why black cannot accept the pawn trade. Neither would h4 plus 6 be a good idea because, again, the red chariot would be prepared to storm the palace corner, threaten the black cannon. And once this happened, this horse would be in deep trouble. It would not have any good positions to move. So that is why h7 minus 9 is advocated. So red will continue to play p3 plus 1, and again threaten the black cannon, forcing to move. And as can be seen, black's formation is rather weak. There are no obvious targets for attack. These two horses would be problematic and would need further development. And red was prepared to play h6 plus 5 amongst many other possible combinations. So this is the reason why after playing c2 equals to 3, r9 equals to 8 is not a good idea. Neither would h7 plus 8 to discourage red from developing the right chariot as a foul chariot. This would not be a good idea also. Again, red would simply play r9 equals to 6, protecting the horse, and this chariot will now cross the river to the cross river bank rank. As can be seen, this horse, upon moving to the riverbank horse, would not have any good intersections to move to. These two pawns are both guarded, and the black pawn was getting in its way so that it could not be developed with h8 plus 6. So that is why h7 plus 8 was not a good idea. Black tries to trade material, hoping that after trading the chariots would be traded, and this would free the black horse and allow it to move later on and be free of this the threat of the red chariot. But red will have none of it. Now red's cross palace horse would be a much powerful entity than as compared to black if he played h4 plus 6. Try to compare the variations. Black will try to shoo the chariot away, and at this point in time this would be a standoff, because if black captured the pawn, red would play h6 plus 7 to gain a tiger-headed horse, and once the horse is at this position, it's very powerful. Only needs to do 2 moves to go to the elbow horse position, and it will prevent the black central pawn from advancing amongst many other functions. So in this situation, black would have the initiative. Now, although the black horse can now capture this pawn, red would develop his chariot, and this cannon would now be in trouble because this cannon had already advanced to the riverbank and would not be protecting, or the cannons would not be linked. So that is why h7 plus 8 was not a good idea. Therefore, the recommended move in this position would be p3 plus 1. So black would not would ignore the potential threats of red developing the chariot, etc. Red will try to develop the chariot, but black will simply go ahead to attack. Now, as the horse, comparing the position of the horse at this place and over here, we can see that black has a very agile and versatile formation at this point in time. Now, let's say red continued with the rank chariot. Black will simply protect the horse, and if red tried to capture the if red tried to capture to attack the black horse, black could simply play c2+2 to chase the chariot away. And again, this rank chariot would not have any good intersections to move. And after retreating the chariot, the cannon can move to the pale corner cannon position and to attack this horse. So this would be a much better position than compared to some of the positions shown earlier. So p7+1, and after one of the most important aspects of black's opening would be the development of the elephant chariot. If the elephant chariot were able to be developed, red would only have used up 1-2 moves to get the chariot to this position, where you can now control the river bank and also fortify the defenses. So comparing this position with this position, we can see that black's formation in this instance is not very coordinated, and it will be even worse in the first variation, whereby as can be seen, the chariots and horses are very ill-positioned, and this elephant will require at least 1 move to move it to a better place. So black's formation is not very well coordinated. So a quick recap: pawn versus pawn, horse, and both colors decide to develop their horses as EI horses or elephant eye horses. And this will be the move of discussion in this board, whereby red tries to attack this file. So in the first variation, I9 equals to 8 resulted in a very poorly coordinated position for black. In the second variation, whereby black would try to play proactively with h7+8 to prevent the development of this chariot. However, this is not a good idea also, because these 2 pawns are protected, and this black horse would have trouble being developed later on, and this would be the resulting position. So this would be a standoff, but red would have better prospects in the ensuing game. So the recommended move would be to play p3 r1 equals to 3, as the title suggested, whereby black would continue to carry out his plans and ignore whatever traps or tricks that red might have. And this resulted in a very nice and stable formation, whereby the pieces are all linked, the cannons are linked, the horses are protected, and there's ample space for black to continue to develop his major pieces. So this is the 64th board in the book, in the free ebook that's available. The free ebook had selected a few more boards and will be ending this series very soon. If you like the work that I've been doing, and if you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel and give me a like. Thank you.